Yo, what is going on, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're watching the 9.5 patch notes, massive nerf. Let's see. Oh, shoot, Mario. Sorry for swearing. Somebody tell Agro to fix his mic.
Because we are adjusting literally every single god in Smite, all at once. We're calling it the TTK update, the time to kill update. So the overall, to pull back the curtain a little bit,
TTK?
We've heard the complaints and the discussion about the amount of damage in Smite. In the last few updates, we've been trying to address that, but clearly that has not hit the mark as we've hoped it would. So we've been working on this extra scenario kind of in the background for a little bit, and it's time to pull it out. We basically want to
Ever got nerf?
Dying in the early game from too much damage from all different sources, but also how it scales into the late game and what each role's responsibility is in the late game and what they can do and all that kind of stuff. And this has been in the works for a while. Got to give a quick shout out to our pros, Olympians, and Smite creators who gave their feedback on this. Every single god in Smite, including your favorite god and your least favorite god, is having their base HP increased by 40%.
So what this means is at level 1, characters that usually have about 600 health will be sitting at, or say 500 health, will be instead be sitting at 700. By about a number, they're almost 1.5 times as tanky. Time to kill is going to be drastically higher. Drastically higher. Keep in mind, so it's a healer meta. Easily they could go in a 9.5 update and nerf healers. Is this a Chin's buff? Chin's Reaver E-Staff.
Merge the classes a little bit.
Bluestone upgraded.
So we wanted to make sure the tanky
max HP like 5,500 now. I got to, yeah, I got to about 5,500 HP on Ymir. It is insane how tanky you are. We did like high level in-houses. We obviously couldn't stream them. High level in-houses, and rarely did anybody die in the laning phase. The time to kill might be a little high right now, but easily they could just take it down by like 20% of what they did here, and it'd be fine. Keep in mind,
the way that you can interact with a warrior
right now, in the opinion of the pro players, ADC is the best role in the game.
And it lets you play
you can no longer, because of hybrid nerfs, warrior base damage nerf, guardian base damage nerf, guardian and warrior numbers nerf, and hunters also are just tankier in the late game. You cannot kill a hunter late game unless you actually play it well. Mages are kind of the same way, except you can kind of like whittle down mages.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge. You guys will absolutely feel it. This is, in my
100%
opinion,
you will feel it.
The most different Smite has felt since boots got removed. Like it is.
No, this is
that
bigger
level.
than that.
I think it's bigger than that.
Way bigger than that. This is the most different Smite has felt ever in between a patch. Keep in mind, don't go like boo, hiss, anything. They will easily nerf, if this is a problem, they will easily nerf like hunters down a little bit, nerf the items. Like, this is not just how Smite is going to be now.
For context, the minimum HP increase that you can have is 145. So the squishiest gods in the game,
like hell,
will get 145 extra HP. The tankiest gods in the game will have an extra 210.
No, hunters don't 3-shot. They like 5, 6, 7, 8-shot.
There's going to be a lot of different fall-offs.
Max Fizz was 325. What sociopath thinks this patch is not enough? You want games ending 5-0?
We also have a brand new conquest refresh here coming on in the map that we're going to be able to go into. The Knights Keep Conquest map is going to be what we're doing here in 9.5. We've got new map decorations, a new obelisk system,
and I'll be honest,
a new siege engine.
It's really cool. There's a big new castle art asset added to the outside.
The castle looks super cool. Super cool.
Now you'll see we are keeping the obelisk mechanic, but heavily reworking it at all stages.
This is important.
How you collect offerings, how you pick up offerings, what the rewards are, is all being changed.
Obelisk now. Okay, we'll look at this first.
Like that. So I think that in that
way,
I
can say
just finding
really
new ways
easily.
To expand upon that.
This is the new map.
Very exciting as we are in game. Lermy driving us around to the new castle over here in the duo lane, Duo Kingdom.
Duo Kingdom.
Is what's going to be happening.
Now that we looked at it, these right here are the obelisks. There's mist in them. They stay misty until you kill the guy in there, and then the mist disappears and it drops a cup. You need 7 cups to power your obelisk now, as opposed to, I think it was 8 before. When you fully stack it, you get a siege trebuchet. It'll spawn into the one with the healthiest tower. So if the tier 1 in mid and left are down, it'll go into tier 1 right. It only spawns when you walk into the circle of it, and it pushes, and just like in League, if you guys know League, it doesn't go into the tower, so it can perma push, and it'll slowly kill the tower from outside aggro. That is basically the trebuchet. It's trebuchet now, is what the name of it is.
Camps.
Oh,
so you
bring it
can
back
use
to
these to
this.
stealth yourself like you could in the Winter Conquest.
Very nice.
And within the mist camps are going to be these lost knights.
Can you still
these
milk?
ghost
Yes.
knights. You can destroy these to get your offerings. This is the only source of offerings outside of stealing from your opponent. So when all the mist camps spawn, you can see they're marked by the little chalice icon on the mini
Milking
map.
is,
You can
yeah,
pick these
milking
up
is
to fill up your
not my favorite. You guys see Merlin's health late game. You also have to be inside of the mist to auto the camp.
It's very easy and very clear to see which lane it's going to go to. It's just, we got it. What enemy tower is the healthy? Which lane has the healthiest tower?
See?
And
It doesn't move until somebody walks into it.
as we all know, these escort quests in games are the worst when you have to stand next to it forever, when they're so slow. So all you've got to do is tap a toe inside of it.
It's got some little guard minions with it too.
They can do the escorting, you know? I'm a god. I've got
Shout out
stuff
to
to
the
go and
classic
do.
Joust medieval minions.
Yep.
Coming back. So this trebuchet also has a very unique type of combat that we don't usually see in our Siege Juggernauts. This trebuchet has very specifically only a long-range attack. It cannot defend itself at short range. It won't hit things too close.
It does look very clunky how it moves. It like walks and then it like stutters and turns. It like stutters, turns, and then walks again.
The trebuchet here, like in that narrow space, and they can defend the trebuchet without actually setting foot in tower range. And you can see it did a pretty nice chunk of damage to that tower.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
I mean, yeah,
Crazy.
it just keeps going. It does take a little bit of damage each time it fires so that it can't just push forever.
How easy is it to destroy it? It starts with 1800 health. This thing is OP. No power on the Merlin. It took a long time because the Merlin was hitting for like
And
80.
worth noting that these trebuchets, like we said, don't start until you touch it, and they will stay at your Phoenix line.
Agreed, Elise.
As long as
it
you
is very
like.
good
So
concept.
if you want to stack up some trebuchets in multiple lanes,
boy does it
or
need help.
in the same lane.
Use them as a defensive tool.
It's,
Yeah, Pen will help
it's
kill.
really
They have
cool.
props.
One is we're doing a lot of changes to the XP and gold sources. The things we're doing in
The
that
back
way,
camps?
first of all, is we're fine-tuning a lot of them. So we're making more individual.
I feel like
harpies.
aggro sounds so much louder than Ajax.
The green harpy trio camp.
Is that a Naga? It is.
We're going to be adjusting individually the camps across the map. So jungle camps, red to purple to green to blue to speed, do not have to share the same
3 camps now at mids.
total XP or gold values anymore. Also, we made more different types of harpy and more different colors of harpy, so we can be more fine-tuned with how much experience is in different places. You can a lot of these camps are worth a little bit more, but the contestable ones are respawning less often. And then everything in the jungle has generally gotten tankier, so it's a little bit slower to clear. That's another key goal for the Conquest, just bring the pacing down a little bit, but not too
Every
much.
camp
And
is
everything in the
so
jungle
hard to kill.
hits really hard.
If you are a
back.
support,
Very
or
hard.
Because
a
everyone's
support,
getting so tanky,
if you're a support,
and
you
we
cannot
want
kill
jungle
anything.
to
Look at how
be,
much damage this does.
Mages, beware of red. You know,
Look at this.
whoever's playing mid, beware of red.
Beware of
Look at how
taking
long
gold
the
fury.
stacks
Also
for.
did a few things we're now,
You see
Gold
this?
Fury, Fire Giant, and Pyromancer,
Still
that offer
slowed.
abilities
This is a
to deal magic
7-second
damage.
slow now.
Minions are now going to be tankier as well. So you're going to be spending more time in lane. It's going to take a little longer to clear those minions. That could potentially have really big effects on which gods become viable, how junglers plan their paths.
It is crazy.
The way that it's felt to me and the way that I've heard it described by the pros who have been scrimming on and all that kind of stuff is that it feels like the early game and the mid game just last longer. It takes a little bit longer to get to late game.
Right.
Late game, you're still doing damage. You're still taking
It was
damage.
very important to us that we slow things down, but not overly.
Just to kind of say what Aggro's saying right there.
Yep, more laning
It is
phase,
way harder
little
to
bit
get
more
punished
laning
in the
phase,
early
a little
game.
bit longer to clear your wave.
Way harder to get
but
punished in
not
the
so
mid
much
game.
you
It is
creep
way harder to die
super
early
slow.
game. Way harder to die mid game.
It's still
You
all
farm
about
a lot
fighting, all about
slower.
being active.
So instead of being like an arena game, you actually need to farm. Games last, about 30 to 35 minutes. Literally exactly, D's. Not a single game for the pros that scrimmed went under 30 minutes. Obviously, we're still learning the game too. Maybe we find something that's OP that helps for snowballing, stuff like that. But not a single game went over or under 30 minutes. Late game is still like, late game does not feel much different. This is huge.
Are being increased their base damage by a significant amount, And all towers and phoenixes are now going to have 30%
That's a big
penetration built into
You
their
can,
shots.
I'm not even trolling, you
These towers
cannot
are a
dive
lot
towers
harder.
anymore.
We
You
have to be
literally
careful again,
cannot.
start
That is my
to get a
least
lot
favorite
more,
change in the entire patch.
throughout the game.
Towers need to be
Yep.
strong, but you should be able to dive them exactly. You literally
realizing
cannot dive at all. You just get one shot,
Shout out to you players out there watching the
and it is
show.
harder
You
to
have
kill
homework
the
done,
people
you
that are
head
sitting in their
first.
tower.
But it is mostly against gods with that penetration increase. So your minions, you know, you can still siege.
You
in the
literally
later stages.
cannot
It's going to be
dive.
harder if you start
You
to tank the
cannot
Phoenix,
dive.
But it doesn't like
And you think
insta-kill
I'm
your way
trolling?
into
You
one.
cannot dive.
unique
I was
damage
playing
values towards
Sirket,
power sun.
and I built her full tank Sirket in an in-house.
That was
I
adjusted a
took
little bit because minions
2,000
adjusted as well,
damage
but the god damage
in
is much more.
Yeah,
like
definitely much
4
more against
seconds.
gods. We're just going to power through these as fast as humanly possible. Here we go. Tower Shield, that's a tier 2 of Void Shield, or of Shifters and all that kind of stuff. Decrease from 20 to 15. Hope your fingers are fast, by the way, Jithans. Berserkers, decrease power from 25 to 20 and decrease physical protection from 50 to 40. Shifters, decrease power from 30 to 25 and decreased power on the passive from 30 to 25. Glad Shield, decreased power from 25 to 20. Void Shield, decreased physical protections from 45 to 35. Runic Shield, decreased physical power from 35 to 30. Ancile, 40 to 35 on the physical power. Cataceus Shield, decreased physical power from 25 to 20. Frostbound Hammer, shout out to Lermy, decreased physical power from 35 to 25. Rudenforged Hammer, decreased physical power from 35 to 30. The Sledge decreased physical power from 40 to 35. Blackthorn Hammer decreased physical power from 30 to 25. Celestial Legion Helm decreased magical power from 70 to 55. Lotus Crown decreased physical protections from 60 to 50. Jade Emperor's Crown decreased magical power from 40 to 30. And decreased
I can't even
health
say anything
from
about
350
this.
to 300. Then we've got Tyrannical Plate Helm, decreased magical power from 85 to 70. Voidstone, decreased health from 250 to 200. Decreased magical protection from 60 to 50. Stone of Fall, decreased health from 200 to 150. Stone of Binding, decreased magical power from 30 to 25. Physical protection from 35 to 30. And decreased magical protection from 35 to 30. And that brings us to some tier 2s that are getting some buffs. It's Spell Focus and its Warrior's Bane. Recently removed this percent penetration, but after some feedback from some high-level players in particular, the power spike difference between tier 2 of one of these 10 items and tier 3 was just too much. So both Spell Focus and
Stacking
Warrior's
hybrid
Bane,
items
that's
is
tier 2
actually
of Obsidian
bad
Shard
now.
and
You can't
Titan's
just
Bane
stack like
respectively,
6 hybrid
are getting
items.
5% penetration back respectively.
You're going to be down like 30 power across the board and 70 magical power.
If you want to be really tanky in 9.5, you really can build into those full tank items plus the time to kill buffs.
Yep.
But if you still want to build, if you still want to shred people late, you build those percent pen items, those percent health items. Kins and Soul Reaver and potentially even crit and high penetration builds are stock's gonna go way up, right?
Yep, stonks absolutely for Soul Reaver and Chin Size in particular.
No, in particular
Well,
for
I am
crit.
hosting the show. Like you knew, you guys knew.
Crit
what you were
stocks
doing.
are through the roof.
Let's start with Loki. This is more of an adjustment to Loki. His laugh has been removed as an audio cue on Vanish. That's his stealth.
This
So
is
it's
nothing.
all
This
about
is basically a bug
consistency.
fix.
Let's go to Sirket, who's getting a buff. Her basic attacks, this one's a little bit exciting.
Yeah.
Her basic attacks, the third basic attack in her attack
This is why
chain
I was
will now
playing
cleave,
Sirket
so this
support.
should help her jungle clear pretty significantly. She's also getting a buff to Cobra's Kiss, decrease the cooldown, that's her 2, from 16 to 14. And on Last Breath, decreased pre-fire animation time
So,
from 0.2
no troll,
seconds to
for
0.1
Sirket support,
seconds. So
this
hopefully
is
you'll have a little bit
huge.
less of that
And in jungle, I
situation where
guess.
you
This might be
latch
the
onto a
best
god as
change.
They try and leap away and you like half play the animation.
This is the best
and then
change
doesn't
to
take
Sirket,
cooldown, and they
period.
still jump. Reducing this and really cutting it in half, even though it's already a short time, should account a little bit more for some of those server latency sort of situations that can cause some
The
disagreement.
cleave isn't really that big. I
also
thought it
feel
would
like
be.
this in
Sirket
terms
was a
of
character, and 9.4 kept her in the exact same spot. I think they thought she was a decent character before the CCR changes and DR changes, but she was in 9.3, she was in 9.4, and she's probably still going to be 9.5. This isn't going to help her. This is a nice little change. 14 seconds is nice, but she is still going to be a pretty bad character. This,
increased the
a good
stun
change.
on the wall from
This will probably help Thor a
It
good
was
amount.
1 to 1.6. Now it's going to be 1.2 to 1.6. So still ending in the same spot late game.
Level
but
1,
as this is the last
1.2
ability
second
max,
stun.
Getting a little bit more CC
That's
in there.
nice.
Just
That
to
is a
make
nice
sure that
change.
He's not. On to Gibalanke. He's getting a buff to his 3, Rising Jaguar. Increased poison bonus damage from 30% to 40%. We're getting closer and closer, guys, to the
original.
when I
Extra
started
OP.
playing.
If his 3 is supposed to hit for 400, it'll hit for 440 instead.
To 40 to
Not
60.
that much.
And increased attack speed from 30% to 50% to 40%.
I think this one was one that didn't make a ton of sense.
The attack speed stim.
Because I feel like Rama was even played.
And then rolling assault decreased mana from 70 to 90 to 50 to 70.
I feel like Rama's been played a good amount. Rama's one of the best hunters in the game now.
Protection
Naja,
gained after landing from 20 to 40 to 30 to 50. So Naja a little bit more survivable.
A lot of important stuff, Stella. A lot of important stuff. Yeah, Naja's still super buggy.
Decrease the cooldown on Earthbreaker. That's his 2. It goes from 14
this one was
seconds
cool.
to...
I haven't tried Herc yet.
Seconds flat. Now it's going to scale down as you put more points in it. So
I haven't tried Herc yet, but maxing his 2 in support might be pretty good now.
Terra getting a buff. Force of Nature, that's the dash.
Herc is rarely played. He's not very good.
From 15 seconds to 13 seconds.
That's a good Terra buff.
The mana cost on Monolith, it was 60 to 100.
This was embarrassing.
60 to 80. Yep, that was a very high.
This was embarrassing how high that was.
Another Guardian up next, Sylvanas, Nature's Bounty.
This one is huge. This is one of the best changes in the patch.
Reduction provided by picking up seeds from 0.25 seconds to 0.5 seconds.
So
this does upgrade
it may not seem
like
a lot,
second, I believe.
Exactly.
But every single thing you pick up now is twice as much. It's worth twice as much as it used to.
Baba Yaga getting a buff. Baba's Brew, that's the 2.
Fuck Sylv.
Cooldown from 14 seconds to 12 seconds at all ranks, so you get to toss a few more potions.
I feel like this character,
game, which is what
like,
I love to do.
her worst thing is that she just doesn't feel good to play.
And then Pele also getting a buff.
Guarantee you that's the biggest thing.
So that is the 1. Increase the physical power scaling from 60% to 70%, and that is only on the throw.
Well, I mean,
you are not barely dead when Pele kills you. Like, she overkills by a lot the vast majority of the time.
I mean, actually kind of true.
ESET getting a nerf, as AJ mentioned.
It's a fantastic
even
fork.
after the DR changes, ESET actually saw a win rate
needed.
Increase. So
and this is the best place to hit her.
Also, of course, her pro viability and how prevalent she's been
This is the best place to nerf her,
too. Magical protection debuff. It was 10 scaling up to 30% in max rank. It'll now be 10 scaling to 20% at max rank.
People knew like widely considered very strong ESET is. Are you still able to build hybrid junglers? Yes.
In the entire game. Right. Like non-ultimate
but not as well at all.
Absolutely.
You still probably could get away with it, but it's going to be very bad.
It's Gilgamesh. It wouldn't be a patch without a Gilgamesh nerf. Am I right, everybody?
Finally.
Dropkick, decreased physical power scaling of kick damage from 40% to 30%. And also decrease the power scaling of burst damage from 40% to 30%. So if you kick someone and they don't hit into a wall,
20% scaling.
It's only a 10% nerf. When you kick someone into
and the movement
a wall,
speed is actually pretty big too.
20% scaling after this change, as well as Heroes Advanced decreased movement speed. It was 25 scaling up to 35%. It is now just going to be a 25% increase to your allies running toward.
Did you enjoy the 9.5 changes as much as they claimed? Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Almost, so that needed
I love it. I know a lot of the pros are still 50-50 on it, but I loved it. I've been begging for tower buffs, and that is one of my least favorite changes of the entire patch, and I'm not trolling. I hated it. Oh, this is one of the best ones.
Decompose, that's the passive.
What'd you say you loved? Basically the entire patch.
And Energy Surge, that is the Druid form 1.
Today is the day we rejoice.
Both forms, and
Artio is dead. She's dead. She's finally dead.
12 seconds.
Yes, this does change support builds. Warriors are still pretty bad because they can't clear well.
Tear the Veil, that's the ultimate. Increased cooldown from 50 seconds to 60 seconds per charge. And decrease base rift damage from 80 to 240.
I feel like this patch, they actually listened to casual players and pro players and did like a bunch of good changes. 2 of them on a 50-second cooldown?
Chain Lightning, it was 10 seconds, now it's 12.
Totally unbiased.
Totally unbiased. Aegis Assault decreased movement speed. It was 20 to 30%. Now it is 15 to 25%, so 5% on each end. And decreased attack speed, it was 20 to 40%. It is now 15 to 35%.
Do mobile mages have safer landing phase? Yes. Everyone has safer landing phases. Classic Conquest.
Remodeled selves.
2012, 10-year anniversary.
So the whole idea is that you want to get your friends together to play Smite on this special night, and you'll be earning bonus rewards and get to play new modes or interesting twists on current game modes. Smite Night will occur on Saturdays and last for 24 hours. And it will feature a different mode each week. So here's a little preview of what you can expect from Smite Night in the next few weeks. On May 21st, you'll be able to play Classic Conquest for the first time in a decade, basically.
Also, I'm not a closed beta player, so I don't really care about this. It's going to be cool to play it, but I got my Gamer Subs brought to me. Gamer Subs. So check out Gamer Subs and then use code Inbound. I complain too much, man.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I got to stop complaining. Huh?